Orange Lounge Radio. With your hosts, Dark Sakura, Sky, and Loki.
This week, on the heels of Amazon's entry into game publishing, Google recently acquired a game peripheral company likely for use in a future Android device. Also, the first rule of Driveclub is do not talk about Driveclub's release date, because there isn't one. We'll tell you about all this and more on the show where every gamer has a voice.
Orange Lounge Radio.
Hello, my friends out there on the internet, and welcome back to another week of the show where every gamer has a voice. This is Orange Lounge Radio for this March not the 13th, the day we're recording, but March the 16th of 2014 with episode number 544 of our show. Hello from the past, but I'll get to that in a minute. My name is Rob Roberts, joining you as always with my co-hosts. Say hello here with me in studio to Jamie Summers, or Dark Sakura.
I live through the power of caffeine.
How are you doing?
Sup, bitches?
Caffeinated?
Who aren't in chat?
You're somewhere between caffeinated and coffeenated.
I guess. I live on coffee since I work in tech support.
Uh-huh.
My entire diet is coffee.
Mm-hmm. Instead of like, the big jugs of water, filtered water that most offices have, they just have jugs of coffee?
We have coffee makers in all of our break rooms that give us free coffee.
Nice. It's important.
With the option of a half calf.
Okay.
So the land of cubes and tech is equipped with coffee. It should also be the lands of cube, tech, and coffee, but that wouldn't make a good acronym.
It wouldn't be quite as good of an acronym. Also say hello via the Skype line once again. He's with us this week. Say hello to Techmaster Loki.
Hello.
Hey, how you doing, Loki?
Doing all right.
Yeah?
Yep.
How's being a dad going?
It's going okay.
Yeah.
Tiring.
Any new projects that you've been able to start while you've been trying to raise the kids in between?
I've been working in Unity. That's about it.
Were you inspired by Flappy Vog?
Not necessarily. Well, sort of. Well, because basically I looked at, the amount of cell phone games that are out there and how people make kind of a quick buck. And the way I look at it is if I put something together, even if it just, does mildly okay, it's still more money than no money. So, why not?
So you just kind of want to throw something out there and see what sticks. Like, that's, there was a... Go ahead.
Originally, I was going to do something like that, but then I ended up going back to, because originally when I was trying to make like games and stuff, I had like a bunch of concepts I was throwing around, and I actually had stuck with one, and you're gonna love this, except the fact that all the work is gone now. I actually was working on like an F-Zero GX clone at one time, and it was on my old laptop hard drive, and I lost everything.
No.
So, but that was really cool. I may go back to that someday, but all my work's gone there. So I started a new project, and I've been kind of chugging along with it, and it's okay so far. I'm just trying to get some of what I wanted out of the engine done, and then I kind of have a basic idea of what I want to do, but I'm trying not to get, they call it feature creep, where you start like, hey, I want to do this and this and this and this, and it just gets overly complicated. But so far, because I've watched like lots of videos and read things about Unity and programming and all that stuff, and I just don't retain any of it unless I actually do it. So I've been doing it, and I've been learning a lot, and then so that's what I'm kind of doing now.
That's very normal. I actually, I do the corporate training for a living, and we learn as trainers pretty early on that some people live by hearing, some people live by watching, a lot of people learn by doing, and the best method of teaching people involves some combination of the three. So by you kind of, listening and hearing the YouTube and then actually getting the hands-on practice, I think is the most important part. But, there was that big interview that came out with Dong Nguyen this week in Rolling Stone. Somebody finally tracked him down and found him. He gave that big interview to Rolling Stone, and it really sounded like, he never intended to make the type of money. I think we kind of knew this anyway based off his tweets, but he never intended to make the kind of money off Flappy Bird that he did. It just kind of took off and it went viral. So you never know what games are going to go viral or what games may not catch on.
It's cool to like kind of want to do that, but I mean I don't think you can really expect that. And all I'm trying to do is I'm trying to do something somewhat unique, but I don't know. I've already in my process of researching stuff, I found one other game that's very similar, but the style-wise is going to be completely different, and the tone of it's going to be kind of different. So we'll see. But right now, I mean, I actually had some problems in the engine that I was trying to solve, and I actually came up with a creative solution that worked. So I was like, "Wow, I actually learned something." There's a plugin that I knew nothing about, and I was just like, "Oh, I don't know how the heck to use this." And like during lunch today, I figured out how to use it. I was like, "Okay, cool." So I'm actually gonna be able to do this. I think
another little piece of the puzzle.
Yeah.
Well, good luck to you. We're gonna check in on updates when we get over to our new studio, which. To kind of transition a little bit, I think, unless this is your very first time listening to Orange Lounge Radio, in which case, welcome, and I warn you, tonight is a very different sort of episode. But for those of you guys that do listen to Orange Lounge Radio every week, you guys know that we're actually not live on Sunday night this week because I am currently in the process of moving from the apartment that I'm currently in into a house where our new studio will be at. So therefore, we had to shut down the show for this week. But we still wanted to, we wanted to, those of you guys that rely on us to be there every week, we wanted to give you at least a little something, even though the show tonight will probably be a lot shorter than what we're used to. And a big part of that reason is that we do not have our chat room tonight. But for those that are listening to the premiere on Sunday night, a big hello to all you guys in chat who stuck around after Bobby's show, because we do typically tape live on Sunday nights at 6 o'clock Pacific, 9 o'clock Eastern, right after the Bobby Blackwolf show at the Voice of Geeks Network, vognetwork.com. And we will be back there next week, barring any major malfunctions in the new studio. Just a disclaimer there. We will be back in the next week with a brand new live show, and look forward to having you guys there.
But not a dead show.
Yeah, well, let's hope. Yeah. I don't want this to be our last episode ever, although I'm sure it will be a fine episode. We're going to hit on some of the usual segments that we usually do here, just in a bit more speedy format, if for lack of a better term. Don't really have a kickoff topic tonight, so I'm going to get right into our gaming weeks. So, Dark Sakura, how was your gaming week? What kind of video games have you been playing this week?
I did play some Final Fantasy 14. And I've been playing a lot of Animal Crossing, which I just wrapped up doing because these bitches keep inviting themselves to my house.
This is so funny. I was we were just about ready to record, and I'm coming out of the restroom, heading over to the coffee machine, and Dark Sakura go, I hate it when people invite themselves over to my house. And I'm like, whoa, is somebody at your house? Do you have to go? And she's like, I'm talking about Animal Crossing. I'm like, oh, I thought maybe somebody let themselves into your house, they wanted to play pinball or something.
No one goes to my house.
Aw.
Just me and the cat.
I've been to your house. That's not true.
Yeah, 4 times.
That's a few times.
It's all good. Yeah.
I watched Showgirls with you. It was girl bonding.
That was awesome.
Yeah. So
and then you got to try. No, we had the bottle of Frivolo that night, didn't we? No. You had you got to try the honey wine.
If it involved liquor, I don't remember.
You got to try the elderberry wine.
That's true.
Stuff was amazing.
Yeah, you, me, and Monet will have to get together and watch more scary movies again.
Heck yeah.
Anyway, sorry to interrupt your gaming week.
Girl.
Final Fantasy 14.
Yeah, I played that. Played Animal Crossing. That's about it because I've been working it. But I am very sad because I cannot do my birthday at Disneyland this year because it's fucking Easter.
Oh, so it's going to be
busy.
Packed. You always run into that danger around your birthday, though.
I do. And it's also the last weekend of Passover, so I have to observe and not have cake on my birthday again.
We all have these odd events that happen around our birthday. Like you have Easter.
Sometimes there are mass murders on my birthday.
You know what's always around my birthday is the Gay Pride Parade in San Francisco.
Oh, that's right.
So that's where all my friends want to go. They're like they don't care about my birthday.
Speaking of games and gay.
Uh-huh.
I have my ticket to Gamer X.
Heard.
Thanks to a lovely listener, which I don't know if he wants me to say it was him, but happy birthday.
You know who you
Thank
are.
You.
Wink,
happy birthday
wink.
to me.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for the ticket. I greatly appreciate it.
That was really cool. Jamie told me who you are, obviously, and I'm like, that was so cool of him. So
yeah. So that means I get to go. So I'm not as depressed about Disneyland anymore. So I'm actually probably going to be even canceling my time off request for work so that I can take the time off for GamerX.
Hopefully it'll work out where we're going to have a panel again this year, and this time you can be on the panel.
Cool.
And so some of our listeners can come meet you.
But now I have to cosplay, and I have no time to make a fucking costume. So anyone listening to this show, if you want to help me make a costume or... I will buy fucking material and whatever.
I know some people here locally through the theater stuff I've done that could help you out, especially one girl I'm thinking of actually specializes in cosplay. She would cost, though, so it just kind of depends if you're willing to spend the money.
Well, the ideas that I have is just doing a FemShop costume, just the pants and my hoodie. just because it'd be easy and quick.
Well, if you cosplay, I'm going to have to cosplay.
Hell yeah. My other one is wanting to do
But at least-
something Homestuck.
At least I could use mine at Dragon Con also, so it wouldn't be a complete waste.
I want to do a Sylph of Heart costume for Homestuck, which actually looks really easy. It's just I don't sew for shit. I have butchered and put together all of my last costumes from thrift store finds, which granted, my Jill Valentine costume was really good. And you remember
Thrift stores where it's at. Dude, you don't know how many Rocky Horrors and Clues and Repo the Genetic Operas and all that.
Do you remember my
done through thrift
Shorty
stores.
cosplay from Disney?
Oh, God.
And my Emmy cosplay.
That was when I first met you.
That was.
Yeah.
I wore it to AX 2000.
For those that don't know who Shorty or Emmy are.
Shorty I did the Busted Move 2 version. Or Busted Groove. And then Emmy was one of the characters, and I did the DDR 4th mix version. But no one was my rage.
Sorry to hear it.
I also busted my
You've
knee.
got all the rage you need.
Oh, thank you. I also busted my knee open doing a knee drop on a DDR 4th Plus. Fuck, that hurt. No, I didn't do 4th mix version. I did 3rd mix version. Did I? I had the hat. I had to go out. I paid more for the hat than I did the rest of the costume.
All right. Anyway, we're sidetracking. We're getting
It's video games.
We're getting way away from your gaming week. Let's go over to Loki. Loki, how was your gaming week?
I didn't play much because I just don't have a lot of time. So I played a little bit of South Park, and then I played some Call of Duty Modern Warfare last night. Modern Warfare 1.
That's it?
That's it.
Wow. All right.
And I got a little sidetracked, and I played 2048 a little bit.
Oh, God, that game came up on Horde House this week, and Grandpa was quite angry that he got addicted. He said he spent like 4 hours playing that game the other day. I played 2048 as well this week a little bit.
You know what's funny is I got my highest score was just from making myself go in circles with the keyboard. Like I was like, okay, screw this. I'm just going to hit random keys. And I'm like, oh, great. Yeah, and I get the high score from that.
Isn't that the same thing as that Threes game that's really big on iPhones? It's pretty much the same game, but just like slightly different numbers or something?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So very similar games. Yeah, 2048. I don't know. I don't remember the website, but I'm sure you guys can Google it and find it. Just like 2048 game, and yeah, it's this little free, just simple little browser-based game where you try to match tiles together, and they create bigger numbers and powers of 2.
Yeah, it's like Gabriel. Just do search for 2048. It's the first one that comes up. It's too hard to spell it.
Okay. All right, well, if that's it for Loki's gaming week, then I'll talk about my gaming week a little bit. I actually, and I don't know if you got around to touching this game, on last week's show we had Seg here, and he was pimping Dominic Pamplemousse was the game. I'm totally mispronouncing
Dominique
it.
Pamplemousse.
Pamplemousse, which is French for cantaloupe or grapefruit or one of those, I
Yeah.
guess. But I did play a little bit of that because he was nice enough to hook me up. So I played a little bit of that on Steam. I didn't get very far. So
I installed it.
I can't give you like a full review of the game, but I just can say, like, remember we played the trailer last week and I was like, this is kind of like an art film. It's very out there. That's not a bad thing. I'm just warning you. It's like black and white, this really weird, like choppy stop motion animation thing. But and plus the game is created where the character sings everything and all the supporting characters sing all the lines. And I'm really not sure what to think about that because it's not exactly melodic. It's a little bit out there, but it kind of, you can tell it really comes from the heart for that reason. It's like I'm really getting inside like somebody's head. Like I'm really playing somebody's like psycho, well, I shouldn't say psycho dream, but playing somebody's
their Silent Hill.
No, because
joking.
implies it's like it's not even about like scary things
It's
at all.
neurosis. No.
Yeah, it's more like I'm literally feeling like I'm getting inside somebody's head, and it's a little bit strange.
I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, it's cool, but I'm just gonna warn you guys. Like when you hear point and click adventure game, you think, oh, it's like King's Quest or it's like Walking Dead or something. No, it's not really like any of that. It's really out there, but it's a trip worth taking if you've got the $5 to spare. Other games that I've been playing this week, besides things that we were pimping on last week's show, more Final Fantasy XIV, of course, and more Diablo 3. Still playing a bit of Diablo 3. I also checked out a little bit, because I hadn't played this game yet somehow, Bejeweled 3. That's right. I'm kicking it casual.
Okay.
Bejeweled 3 from the PopCap bundle, which is available through the Humble bundle, which, by the way, I didn't see it in our list of news, so I guess I'll bring it up here somewhere.
There's a Sega bundle.
Is there a Sega bundle?
I got an email today about a Sega bundle.
Yeah.
I'll have to look that up. Well, not to distract too much because this is actually pretty serious. PopCap, I guess, had some pretty serious layoffs today, which is a real bummer coming off of that bundle. I mean, all of that was going to charity. It's not like that was to but it's like, it sucks when you've got a company like PopCap that makes these really cool casual games and, at least up until the time they got bought by EA, really felt like they were doing everything right. And even still, like, people are excited about Garden Warfare and Plants vs. Zombies 2 and Peggle 2, but it does seem like the PopCap factory isn't churning them out as fast as they used to, and I'm not sure what's up with that. Yeah, they're not popping those caps as fast as they used to, and I don't know what's up with that. And now to hear about these layoffs, and this isn't the first round, I feel like, that's been reported on for PopCap either. So it's a real bummer. And I don't know. I don't know if something was mismanaged or what the hell's happened over there at PopCap, but I just, from the outside looking in, it really seems like y'all were better off before you got bought by EA, which is sadly a theme we've heard before.
Right.
So.
Well, I've got the list of Sega games, by the way, which I might actually have to do this because there's something in here I want.
Are these classic games or new games?
Some of them are classics.
They're
Okay.
older games.
It's Binary Domain, Renegade Ops, 10 classic Sega Genesis games, Medieval 2 Total War, Shogun 2 if you pay more than $15, Hell Yeah, Wrath of the Dead Rabbit, Rome, Total War.
What the hell kind of games is Sega making? I haven't heard of that
Company of Heroes, Alpha Protocol, and Typing of the Dead Overkill, which is worth it to me.
Oh, that's worth it right there, yeah.
Yeah, that's if you pay more than $6.
That's still worth
I
it.
don't care about getting Shogun, so I'll pay $6.
All right, well, that's cool. I didn't know that bundle was out. That's pretty cool.
It's worth it for Typing of the Dead.
So anyway, yeah, I played Bejeweled 3, tangent, but which, is not that dissimilar from Bejeweled 1 and 2. But there is like an interesting quest mode where there's all these different types of puzzles. And so it kind of varies the match 3 format, which, to be fair, Candy Crush Saga was kind of trying to do that too with their game. But I really feel like there's so much.
I thought we weren't talking about them anymore.
We're not, but I'm going to say something negative.
Okay, good.
Okay, it's done a lot better in Bejeweled 3, and it doesn't involve microtransactions, and I donated to charity instead of this website.
And PopCap's not run by assholes unless you count EA.
Yes, exactly. Well, now it's kind of like they need the money, except the Humble Bundle. I think A, the Humble Bundle thing's over, and B, it was all for charity anyway. But the charities need the money. So
yes, there are kids with cancer out there.
Keep an eye on
and
Humble Bundle.
leukemia and hemophilia, which is awful.
Yeah, lots of
You know what
causes.
happens if you have hemophilia?
I don't want to talk about it right now. All right, let's housekeeping real quick. Of course, twitter.com/OLR, and you can also follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/orangeloungeradio. And we will be back live again next week with our next episode, which would be 545 if I haven't lost count. So, all right.
You can't count.
We're going to get into some gaming news.
Dude, this thing's cool.
What thing?
Ooh.
Oh.
I'm playing with Rob's light because I'm distracted.
It's actually Alan's. It's like a little bookmark.
This is awesome.
It's a reading light.
Oh.
Great radio,
I'll put a
Darkstalker.
picture of it on Tumblr.
All right. We're going to get into the news a little bit freeform tonight. We don't have like a really harsh list of everything, but Darkstalker, I guess we'll start with you. What do you want to talk about?
Sad stuff.
All right.
Stuff that makes my heart hurt because I love Namco and I love Homestuck. Basically, Shifty Look, which is a Namco subsidiary that's basically just out there to promote some sleeping Namco characters, is going out of business. They are completely closing down their game servers, closing down the different comics. Bravo Man, which is the game that they had released, is going to still be out via the App Store and Google Play and the Amazon App Store until March 30th, and it will still support purchases through March 16th. Namco High is closing down on June 30th, so that means I need to finish the game with everybody and then figure out how to save the flash file, because I'm going to keep playing it. They still are going to play through with the release of Wonder Momo for the digital downloads, but that's about it. It's going to be going away. I have much cry. And if you haven't played Namco High yet, freaking play it. It's amazing.
And you don't have much time left.
Yeah, you
play
only
it,
have till
sadly.
June, so play it.
Although, you're right. Somebody will figure out how to grab that flash file and put it on their own site or something.
Yeah.
Was that the only news you had?
Yeah, but I
right.
have sadness in my heart.
Well, that's fine. You take some time to recover. Let's see. I'm going to read one story here, and then we'll let Loki do the rest. We'll give Loki all the hard work. But I was really excited to hear about this. So, Loki, I'm sorry if I'm taking this from your list, but I am so excited to hear that they have started. I don't usually get excited about Kickstarters. In fact, usually I kind of make a squinchy face at them. But I am very excited to hear that there is a Kickstarter for Frog Fractions 2.
Oh, Lord.
No word if the subtitle is Electric Boogaloo, but I don't know if you guys have ever played the Flash game Frog Fractions.
I have not.
It's hilarious. All I'm going to say is that stick with Frog Fractions because a lot of people play it for literally 30 seconds, as sometimes our gamer ADD does, especially with older-looking retro-like type games. We'll go like 30 seconds. Oh, remember this game? Haha. But like people are like, I don't get. Just I'm telling you, stick with it. And watch the banana start to peel because it's a funny game and it's worth sticking with. So yeah, Frog Fractions 2 is being kickstarted and they're looking for $60,000. And the game is developed by Twinbeard is his name, although his name is actually Jim Crawford. And by the way, he totally stalks Twitter for mentions of Frog Fractions because I get my tweets favorited all the time. Anytime I mention Frog Fractions in a positive light. But yeah, Frog Fractions is quote unquote edutainment. But it's so much more, and you've got to see the video for the Kickstarter. Loki, did you watch the video for the Kickstarter?
I did.
Isn't it great? But what's also great about this, I think what's interesting about this, if I was reading it right, is that you don't get the game until the game is found. Like, the game has to actually be found. Like, I think that was the impression I was getting, is that the game has to actually be found before before everybody will actually get to play it.
It's not actually called Frog Fractions.
Yeah, it's something else. So, but yeah, because in Kickstarter he talks about if you figure out what it's named before the jig is up, you email him and he'll give you a code immediately for the game. So
I bet it's getting jiggy with it.
I don't know. It could be anything. It could literally be anything with this game.
It could be cowboy hat.
I'm assuming there's hints in the video. So you're going to have to watch it like 50 times closely. But yeah, Frog Fractions 2 is on Kickstarter, and very excited about that. I hope there's another. I don't want to spoil it for those that haven't played Frog Fraction 1s, but I hope there's certain modes that come back and certain ones that don't. I don't ever want to play another text adventure game. Anyway, that's actually not true. All right, Loki, what do you have for us?
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about Driveclub. Driveclub, unfortunately, was a game that was supposed to have been out at the launch of the PlayStation 4, and then it got delayed. And then it got delayed again. And now it's being taken back to the drawing board. It isn't ready to be shipped, and they don't have any sort of release date for it. That's too bad. It kind of look cool.
That's really weird and alarming in a way. Like, this game is going to come out. Oh my gosh, we have to, like, we're pushing it so far back, we're not giving you a release date anymore.
Yeah, pretty much.
That almost talks about a full. What studio was working on this game? Was it Santa Monica by chance?
No, it was a studio behind the MotorStorm series.
Oh.
I don't remember which one it was.
I was wondering if maybe it tied into the unfortunate news we had last week. But what's that old saying? You'll forgive a game that's good even if it's late, but a bad game will always be bad. Something like that. I'm totally hacking a Miyamoto quote or something.
Good enough.
Yeah, good enough, though. You get the point. Like
it was Evolution Studios was the one behind it.
Thank you. As long as the game is good, then people will forgive the delay, I suppose. But if they release it bad... Although, wasn't this game supposed to be like a free thing for PlayStation Plus people? Maybe, I mean...
Well, they were going to have like a stripped-down version that was going to be free. It was almost like a free-to-play model where you could start off with a chunk of it and you can buy the rest if you want.
Mm-hmm. I wonder if that's all out the window this week.
Maybe it might not be. You never know.
All right.
And then let's see. Google, they just bought Green Throttle Games. Now, if you're not familiar with Green Throttle Games, they put out these game controllers for Android. And it's actually the founder is Charles Huang, who was the co-creator of the Guitar Hero franchise. I want to say we met him. I don't remember, though.
That name sounds very familiar.
Was that one of the people that came to your house, Jamie, that one time? there was like some guy. I don't remember if it was. I have to take a look
I
at this
don't
guy.
think so.
No, I
No.
think that was the guy that co-founded Red Octane, though.
Yeah.
Oh, Red Octane. Okay.
And you might have met him at E3 back when like they would be in Kensha Hall and stuff.
Anyway, so yeah, so they bought them up. So everyone's thinking, okay, well, what exactly do they need, a controller company for? Well, the thought is perhaps it's going to be going into a Google set-top box or some sort of Android console, if you will. So it's very interesting to see what they're going to do with that. Maybe they're just trying to beat, Apple to, the embedded like kind of console market, because I have a feeling everyone thinks that Apple's going to try to do something with Apple TV now that they have standardized controllers and stuff, that they're going to try to kind of almost turn it into a gaming console, that maybe they're going to try to beat them to the punch.
I'm getting a little worried there's going to be too many cooks in the kitchen, though, because there's also the rumors that Amazon's cooking something up. And, one of the big news stories that came out the day that we're recording the show is that Amazon is bumping up the price of Prime to $99, which, when you consider, like, I don't know about you guys, but I use the shit out of that 2-day shipping, and that is, like, really, especially, again, it has to do with costuming shows and props and things. I think it saved my butt so many times. Like, I really enjoy having that, but you got to wonder if Amazon's not going to look to sweeten the pot a little bit and nullify that backlash, because, it is still, I mean, to go from $79 to $99, that's still, like, a good, that's like a more than a 20% increase. That's a 25% increase.
Yeah, and we use it. We have, we share an account that has it, but we use it.
Yeah, well, Alan and I get to share one too, since we live in the same house. But still, you got to wonder, they're going to sweeten the pot with some other things, and one of those is rumored to be like some type of gaming type service. Who knows?
Maybe. I don't know. Could see him doing something like
but
that.
I'm just worried there's too many cooks in the kitchen, because obviously you're going to have your Nintendo, your Sony, your Microsoft. They all make the big box systems. Well, actually, I would say Nintendo to a lesser extent, a little bit. Like, Sony and Microsoft really make those all-in-one hubs, whereas Nintendo's really trying to focus on their out there, hippie gaming system, which, some people love, some people hate, whatever. And then you have things like Ouya that are kind of like, I don't know, like they're sort of media hubs, but they're I don't even know what to define Ouya. It's cheap.
Ouya
it's a cheap alternative.
Yeah, Ouya is basically just like kind of a tablet redesigned as like, it's almost like a case mod for a tablet with a video out on it. I mean,
but
that's
I feel like that's what every other company wants to come after, is that cheap alternative. And we're going to be looking at $99 boxes from Amazon, from Google, from maybe even Apple, although they might kind of be injecting it into their Apple TV thing. Still, it's kind of like, okay, I don't have room on my shelf for all this crap. Like, somebody's going to lose ugly.
Yeah, I don't know how they're going to end up, working that out.
No, we'll see.
And then let's see. This was interesting. I actually saw this. I got a Kickstarter update from Kung Fury. Apparently, they are in talks with Tribute Games, the company that they do some really cool kind of like retro style games. They have that Mercenary Kings that's coming out, and they're in talks of maybe doing some sort of game tied in with Kung Fury. Of course, that's still very early on that, but that'd be pretty awesome if that actually happened. Let's see. Now this was interesting. I saw that Microsoft, I guess Phil Spencer, had been responding to the complaints about games with gold. Basically, people comparing that service and their selection of games to PlayStation Plus, and of course he says, one of our issues with games with gold, not issues but differences between the other system we get compared to, is the fact that games with gold, you get to keep the game regardless of whether continue to subscribe. And the business around games with gold for us is just fundamentally different than some of the other programs that are out there, which does put different financial picture on. You're gonna go buy a game that's brand new, the cost of putting it in, or just to be kind of blunt about it. Now, here's the thing, though. The reason that they're not being generous in the fact that they're giving you the game to purchase. It's because they don't have the infrastructure in place to allow you to limit, renting the game, I guess, or being able to download the game only if you have gold. There's nothing in place to do that right now on the Xbox Live Marketplace. That's why they give you the game as a purchase. Otherwise, they would probably go that route that they have with PlayStation Plus. They just don't have that, in place, and they can't really. They're not going to pay to add that in.
Wait, the structure is there to limit the download to somebody that only has gold, but you're talking about the whole expiring and extending the license every time you sign in, and the things that PlayStation does that you can't do.
Yeah, they have something in place where they can make something expire after a certain amount of time. So for rentals, they can do that because they do that with their video service, and I think they've done it with some demos before. And they have the option to limit downloads to only gold subscribers. However, they can't say that, when you become a silver, just if you've downloaded it once, they can't say, once you're silver, you can't download that again. They don't have that in place. That's the problem.
Huh.
So I thought that was interesting that they're spinning it in a different way. Well, we let you keep these games. Well, yeah, but because you don't have an option.
Because you have to. That's kind of funny. Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
Right.
Let's see. And then this was also kind of funny. I saw this and I was like, okay, really? Battlefield 4, they've been having server problems since the game launched, and it hasn't gotten any better, and it's been kind of terrible for the last, I don't know, however long. Well, now apparently they're going to start offering dedicated server rentals like they did with Battlefield 3.
What?
So sure, our game's netcode's really terrible, but you can fix it if you pay us. So I thought that was just kind of interesting. It's fix your game first and then sell something. Just like they've been working on the expansions, but still haven't finished, fixing all their netcode problems.
Wow, that's so interesting that they're willing to just sell you a server when they can't. It's kind of it's a little shady.
Yeah. And then let's see. This is kind of cool. Smash Brothers. I remember that they were trying to get it into Evo, and finally, it's been confirmed that Smash Brothers or Super Smash Brothers Melee is going to be in the 2014 Evo tournament, and it's now officially in there. Because I remember before they were having some issues with Nintendo that they wanted in there, and they were delaying stuff, and I think last year had to be pulled from it or something. But now I guess it's actually going to be in there, which would be kind of cool. I don't know why they're not supporting more of that type of stuff. You would think it would be good coverage for, I don't know, the new Smash Brothers game that's coming out.
Yeah. But it just goes to show that complaining a lot will get you somewhere. Because, everybody complained about the lack of that last year. So bitching and internet petitions, sometimes they work. Usually
sometimes.
only...
Don't they, BioWare?
You're right. Usually only in the world of video games, though.
And then there's a chance that Flappy Bird is going to be coming back. Actually, the official Flappy Bird, not all the billions of clones that are taking its place.
You mean such as flappy.vognetwork.com? Wink. Sparkle.
Apparently, Dong Nguyen, he had an interview, I guess, and they were saying that he's not only possibly going to bring the game back with a message, or I guess a warning message on it, but he is also working on 3 other games. One of which he says a cowboy-themed shooter with simple controls. There's a vertical flyer named Kitty Jetpack. Techno Kitten Adventure much?
Yeah, that was the first place my mind went too.
And an action chess game called Checonaut. Well, that sounds the least original, but the other one, whatever.
Haven't we had battle chess before? Am I the only person that ever played Battle Chess?
Oh no, I played Battle Chess 2, Chinese chess.
Ooh.
That was crazy because it's totally a different game, but
sort of tangenty.
Yeah.
I always wish that they had made a the 3D battle chess, like the 3-layer chess from Star Trek,
Oh yeah,
and done a battle chess version of that with Klingons and everything. That would have been awesome.
that would be. They probably have something like it in Star Trek Online or something. But battle chess could also be something like Archon, which I've done as a game of the week before. It could be where the pieces actually battle. Who knows?
Yeah.
That concept seems a little in depth though for the types of games that Dongwen's kind of been putting out. Like let's be real, Flappy Bird, not a complicated concept. A kitten with a jetpack. If it's anything like either Techno Kitten Adventure or Jetpack Joyride or one of those, not a totally difficult concept to execute. So we'll see.
Yeah. Let's see. And then I was gonna say there's this brand new Nintendo console coming out, except that it's not an official Nintendo console. It's actually a you know how they have all those third-party knockoff consoles? Well, now they have one called Analogue NT that's supposed to be coming out that it doesn't actually emulate the Nintendo. It actually uses real, I don't know if I guess real hardware to play the games, but it also has some different functionality with it. It's going to have an RGB output, so you're going to get improved visuals on everything, especially on newer TVs, 4-player functionality, hi-fi audio, and it's going to come in an aluminum or aircraft aluminum case. So it's kind of neat. I know that there's ways you can hack RGB into like an NES and stuff, but this will actually be something that's built into it as opposed to a hack. So looks kind of cool.
Bummer it can't be HDMI though, because isn't the Retron 5 supposed to be HDMI whenever that finally comes out?
Well, RGB would be it would be you could do HDMI because it would be like a VGA type of signal.
I thought RGB. I don't know why when you say RGB, my mind goes to component because they are literally red, green, and blue cables.
But why? It's an 8-bit system. Why?
Because newer TVs.
No, why?
Because it looks better. Because the colors are better, and it actually looks like it should look like.
But it doesn't matter.
Because you literally, like taking an Atari 2600, you cannot play on a TV these days.
Yeah,
well, okay, you have to have 1 million adapters, and then
one adapter.
But it's going to lose quality. It's going to lose quality going through an adapter.
We hooked up our Atari 5200s to computer monitors with an S-video adapter that worked.
It's interesting though because you can talk about, do you really want to enhance the picture of I think I kind of see where you're getting, Sakura, because when you enhance the picture of a classic gaming console, is it really classic gaming? Because some of our memories with the Atari 2600 was like you were plugged into channel 4. Channel 3 or channel 4, depending on your neighborhood, and you always had that TV noise that interfered with your game. But that's how it looked, man. That's how you played the game.
And on top of that, having a lower quality, sort of blurs the lines around the pixels a lot better. That's actually what some of the characters, their shape is programmed around TV blur.
I can see that argument actually.
So that's why I have a problem. I mean, we still have a 32-inch CRT, so if we want to, we can play our games on old systems, because we saved the TV for that purpose, so that we can play it the right way.
Until it breaks.
Knock
on wood.
Well, I was going to say they actually have a website. The website that's selling it has side-by-side pictures of what it looks like, the RGB output and what was it? Just the standard NES stuff. I was trying to see if I can find that so I could link it to you guys, because it looks really cool. I just don't know. I don't know. I would have to see how expensive it would be or something, obviously. But I don't know. It's a neat idea, I guess.
It's still a way to get classic gaming kind of back in people's living rooms. So it's cool. Yeah. I think I'm a little more interested in Retron 5, even if it does involve emulation, but just because of the sheer volume of consoles that it does in one box, and the fact that it's very easy to hook into my current TV is, a little bit alluring.
Yeah. So. Okay. Let's see. Oh, this is kind of neat. PlayStation Home's finally getting trophies.
Trophies for PlayStation Home?
Yeah, I guess you have a reason to play PlayStation Home. Oh, also they brought back that quest thing you can do to unlock those PlayStation 1 games. They had something where you can unlock what was it, Twisted Metal, Warhawk.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
I don't remember what else, but they had done that a while back. But yeah, it's going to have trophies now.
Still weird to me that they never tried to do anything with Home on PlayStation 4. Like they're gonna, if they don't announce something with PlayStation 4, then they're clearly going to pull the plug on PlayStation Home in the next couple of years. It's kind of interesting.
It would look cool. I mean, it would be pretty sweet if they did something like that.
Yeah.
Especially now with everybody like having cameras and broadcasting and stuff, maybe you could have some sort of Twitch integration.
Well, hold on. Jamie's still hovering on the analog thing you were talking about a minute ago. She's doing some research. How much are we talking for this thing?
$649.
What?
I know, right?
What's it made out of? Titanium?
This is Analog CMVS. Oh, never mind. This is the Neo Geo thing. That's all they had up there right now.
Oh, Christ.
Yeah, they don't have the actual device up there for pre-order yet. It's supposed to be coming later this month.
Oh, well, $649 for a Neo Geo. Well, that's
not so bad.
That's typical. Yeah.
That's not so bad. You know, I'm actually going to email these people and see if they can give me any information.
Don't you know who I am? I want a discount. Anything else, Loki?
There's one other thing. It's kind of sad. You may remember there was an Ouya game, or a game that was, I guess, debuting on Ouya. It was kind of like an art piece almost. It's called That Dragon Cancer, which was basically this guy, Ryan Green, and kind of his way of coping with the fact that his 5-year-old son had terminal cancer. Well, unfortunately, this morning his son died.
Aww.
But yeah, quite sad. Actually, you go check out the trailer and stuff. It is supposed to be debuting on Ouya, but I think it's coming to other platforms at some point. It was kind of, they got in with that funding where, you know, they would back them double or whatever if, you know, on Kickstarter, and also if it, you know, debuted on Ouya and was exclusive for a while. So that will be coming out. But it's basically, if you like watch some of the development stuff about it, it's kind of like the story of their son and all the stuff that he kind of suffered through and everything. So pretty depressing.
Oh my gosh. Go to Costco and get some Kleenex when you're going to play that game. That's going to be a rough one.
That will be a rough one, yeah.
All right. Well, God, I feel like I have to kind of try to end things on a little bit more of a lighthearted note. Although that was a very important story, Loki. I'm going to try and give you one more thing that at least maybe we can all have a good laugh here with a different story, and that is that the early reviews are in for Need for Speed, the movie, which comes out. By the time you guys already hear this, it will have already been out for the weekend. But for us, it's out tomorrow, and early Metacritic score shows a 38 with 3 positive reviews and 11 negative reviews. Let's see. From the Austin Chronicles. From the start, Need for Speed smells like a movie in search of a franchise. On that count, it's somewhat fast, but seldom furious. Rolling Stone says, there's nothing to distract you from a plot. So tired, there are tire tracks from other racing movies all over it. So in other words, it sounds like this movie is just for movie critics especially that probably don't give two shits about the game. It just sounds like it's just a ripoff of all the other racing movies, notably Fast and Furious. So,
Which didn't we call that?
Well, I think anybody could have called that, Jamie.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, video game movies. I know we
liked it.
We had a talk. The Dissolve is the name of the site, who gave it a 70, which is considered positive out of 100. Need for Speed modifies its outlaw anti-hero with all sorts of unnecessary pain and backstory, and the film is slow to leave the starting gate because of it. But once it does, Need for Speed becomes a much fleeter vehicle, powered by impressive practical stunt work, eye-popping cross-country landscapes, and the sparking chemistry between Paul and Poots. Imogen Poots is her name, I guess.
That was kind of interesting that all the stunts in the movie are practical.
Yeah, and so the Dissolve is basically saying, you know what, the graphics are really good.
Let's see how many more racing metaphors we can fit into this review. Lord.
Can we get a Burnout movie now?
That would be... I want a good video game movie. Is that too much to ask? I just want a good one. I want one that's going to get
a good one, but it was animated.
Yeah, or...
The Animal Crossing movie was really good. It was super cute.
Silent Hill wasn't bad.
Silent Hill was
I
great.
like that, but... probably Silent Hill had a pretty bad Metacritic as well. So who knows? Again, disclaimer, that's all Metacritic, and these are critics, and popcorn audiences don't always agree with critics. So who knows? Maybe Needs for Speed isn't all that terrible, but yeah. All right. I think what we're going to get into now, let's do the classic. If that was all the news, right, Logie?
Yeah, seriously, I don't understand what the drama is with resolutions and downgraded graphics and stuff like that. This week, like with Watch Dogs, there was people complaining about downgraded graphics, and now Dark Souls 2 saying that they were advertising this brand new lighting engine, and they were it was in the reveal that they showed in 2013, and also at the Tokyo Game Show demo, and even what they were showing. I guess prior to launch, and then the game comes out and doesn't have it.
Well, maybe it was suffering performance. Maybe it was one thing on the dev kits and another when the game played. It's just lighting. Is the game fun? Yes or no?
I don't know. I haven't played it.
I don't know.
But people bitch about it.
I installed lighting mods on Mass Effect 3, so...
They're even trying to get a Twitter campaign going to make Namco explain why.
Oh, Lord, a change.org petition. Or what is that? Is that the White House one where they have to respond if they get 100,000 signatures?
I think that's whitehouse.gov.
Whitehouse.gov. All right.
I don't know.
Just another internet petition. But as we talked about with Smash Brothers before, it works. Sometimes it works. All right.
But hey, those petitions prove that there are people that work for this government that have a sense of humor.
All right, speaking of having a sense of humor, let's go to the classic game of the week. Back in the day, if a game sucked, you were a sucker for buying it. There was really nothing you could do about it. But, we're going to take a step into the gaming vault, or maybe, actually, Dark Sakura might just reach into her pocket.
I'm going to pick a game that's as old as me.
All right, so Dark Sakura's going to pull a game out of her pocket, and it's the classic game of the week, which, by the way, we have no video for this week because...
Why?
Yeah, it's such an old game. Well, this makes Jason's job doing the YouTube very easy.
I don't know. He'll probably find something.
He'll find something. All right. Dark Sakura, what is the classic game of the week?
Snake. Just Snake. Basically, Snake began with a game called Blockade, which was developed by a company called Gremlin in 1976. And if I have to really fucking explain what Snake... Okay, fine. Snake, you play a dot. And you move around, and you try not to run into your own ass. Basically...
You don't want to eat your own ass, basically, is the goal of Snake. Do not eat your own ass.
I'm sure somewhere out there is a human centipede clone of that game.
Hush. No. Trauma. So basically, as you keep going through different points, your tail grows longer until you really can run out of places to turn, and then you eat your own ass. And that's the for failing the game. You die from ass overload. So anyway.
Little bit of ass now and then.
Too much! So anyway, as I said, it started with a game called Blockade that came out in 1976. In 1978, Atari did an unofficial port, and then they did a home console that's called Surround. So it actually was one of the Atari 2600 launch titles, and it was sold by Sears as Chase. And then Bally did a version that's called Checkmate. So the first personal computer version of it was called Worm. And that was done by Peter Trefonis on the TRS-80 computer. And then there were other versions that came out on the Commodore PET, the Apple II. And then there was another version that that same guy did called Hustle. And then Milton Bradley released it later. There were versions on the BBC Micro. There were versions for MS-DOS called Nibbles. Then it was a QBasic sample program. We had an analog version called Anaconda that was included in Time Splitters 2. And then there's versions in Neopets called Mirka Chase. Rob, did you ever play Mirka Chase?
I don't think so, no. I played some of those other games. I mean, Surround on the 2600. I'm dating myself, but I remember playing that as a kid.
Well, it also used to have, and this was in Gmail until 2012. There was a version that was called Old Snakey, and then came the Nokia phones. So basically, thanks to Nokia, Snake made a huge resurgence.
Hold up, though. This is very important because you missed the most important version of Snake.
Shush. No, I know.
Oh,
It's
okay. All right.
I
I will go back to my text messaging.
girl. Anyway, so on the Nokia phone there was Snake, which we all remember. We had Snake 2. We had Snake Xenia. Or Zenzia, that was it. Snake Zenzia. That was on some of the color ones as well. Snake EX on the color phones that looks kind of like Snake for the SNES. And you could play multiplayer through Bluetooth and infrared. Ooh. There was Snake EX2. Snakes, which is a 3D version for the N-Gage. Snake 3, which was another 3D version. Where you played as a living snake, and then Snake's Subsonic.
Weird.
Also, the Museum of Modern Art in New York City said that the Nokia port of Snake was one of 40 games that they wanted to add to the museum's collection. There are other games that are pretty similar, like the Light Cycles and Tron. Nibbler Snafu for the Intellivision.
Thank you, by the way. That's what I was waiting for.
No, there's more. You've missed the really important one. We also had Pizza Worm, Snake Bite for Apple II, Snake Ball on PS3, and there was a Space Ball on LG different phones. We have Snake for iOS 7, Snake Classic for iOS. So there's all these different versions, but now...
And the most important one, that I can't believe you guys forgot.
No, I didn't
Hold on.
forget.
Let her
Good
fin-
Lord!
Let her finish.
Then we had Snake 360 and Snake 361 by YYR.
There you go.
Good
There you go.
Lord, can't I sue my segment?
No. You're not doing it fast enough. Yes, the most important one was next to Tron. Sorry, YYR. You know we love you here at OLR, but I do rank Tron's light bikes above Snake 360 and 361, but you get a nice solid silver medal. Just saying.
God. Like I would fucking forget. Oh my god.
Is that actually in the...
No, it's not. So I had to go find it because stupid article didn't even mention it, bastards.
How rude.
Someone edit Wikipedia.
All right.
By the way, I would also like to add a happy note that has nothing to do with Snake.
Okay.
Today, my husband found out he was hired for a new job, so he... Lord.
Well, did you just level up upon hearing this news?
No, that was Dan texting me.
Oh.
Yeah, that's Dan's text message is the one-up sound from Super Mario Brothers. My hubby got hired at a new job,
Congrats.
and he will be telling Radio Shack to bite his ass.
Just like Snake.
Like Snake.
Bite my snake, man.
I got a snake, man. Nah.
All right.
He's
Is that
not going to be doing the Adam Sandler thing.
is that it for the classic game?
Yeah, it is.
Now are you done? Are you sure you're finished? Have you You might be forgetting something. Are you sure?
Do not make me pick up my iPad here. My beautiful iPad, of which I am loyal to.
Loki, are you satisfied with Dark Sakura's coverage of Snake?
I think it's fine.
All right,
You know what? I'm a strong woman, and I don't have to answer to any men.
It was like, this is nothing about women versus men. This is me versus you.
I know. Hey, I can still pull the feminist thing on it. So.
All right, well, take your feminism and...
You know what? Just for that, you have to buy me food.
How the hell does that work out?
Tacos, Rob. Tacos.
I have to buy you food.
No,
you're feeling oppressed, so you want a taco.
I'll buy my own food.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Anyway,
I want Mongolian barbecue.
I want. Gimme.
I want the world. I want
right.
the whole world.
You know what I want? I want people to send us emails because usually we would do the mailbag segment right here, but our mailbag was dried up.
We got fuck all.
There was nothing there. Not even spam anymore, thank God. But if you want to send us an email for a future show,
I don't like spam.
Tell us about your favorite snake memory.
I don't want to know about your steak.
Participate at
Keep it in your pants.
Participate at orangeloungeradio.com is the place to email us.
I don't need snakes.
But what we do have this week is that we have somewhat of a Fugle question of the week.
It's Radio Control.
This week on our Facebook and Google Plus communities, and when you take those words and you slam them together, you get Fugle. Instead of doing a little bit of asking our listeners a question and them giving us their best answers, we figured since this week was a bit of a special show and we had a little more time to do something more freeform, we would do some Ask Orange Lounge.
Yay.
Yay! So we allowed the listeners on our Facebook and Google Plus communities to ask us whatever they wanted to, and we're going to read some of these right now and answer them. So let's start with Google Plus.
Sure.
All right. Our friend Renee. I love Renee. She used to go by DNL. Remember that?
Yes.
Love Renee.
DNL Dreams, right?
That's right. DNL Dream. And it always makes me think of the soda. Anyway. Renee wants to know, what are you looking forward to the most at GDC? And do you have any predictions for announcements? What are you looking forward to the most at a Game Developers Conference? I don't usually think of Game Developers Conference as a place for a lot of announcements. I still feel like it's more for the industry to kind of get together and network and, talk about development on that kind of level, not necessarily talk about news. So my expectations are very, very, very low. However, I'm sure we've all heard about that buzz that Sony might unveil their Oculus Rift competitor, or fingers crossed, maybe partnership. Probably not, but there's that thought that Sony may announce something VR related, which wouldn't be out of character for Sony to make a big announcement like that at GDC, because Sony did announce the Move at GDC one year, and I think they've done something else there before. So it would be neat to hear more about maybe how virtual reality will be coming to this current generation of gaming, but I don't have that expectation, because I'd be definitely setting myself up for disappointment if I did. So... Loki, anything quickly that you can think of for GDC? What are you looking forward to?
Sony VR and more footage of Goat Simulator.
More footage of Goat Simulator. Good answer. You know what, Renee? I have another answer. I'm looking forward to some of my unemployed friends in the industry, especially after all these layoffs we've heard about recently. We just had PopCap today and Sony Santa Monica. I'm looking forward for them to be able to network and find themselves a new home. That's what I'm looking forward to. Getting more talent back in the pool. That's my answer. And Sony VR. All right.
May I answer the question too?
Of course.
Maybe Mass Effect stuff. The end.
Never mind.
Goats.
You can't answer the question anymore.
I also second goat.
All right. Dark Soccer, you can start with answering this one from Redtertainment.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Redtertainment says, there are people who deride the Mario franchise as a series of semi-vague drug references. I am of the opinion that people who think that way are overly cynical and long out of touch with their inner child. Your thoughts?
Yeah. They need to lighten up and stop being assholes. Play some Mario and fucking like it. The Mario games are awesome. They are meant to stimulate that inner child in a non-perverted way.
Hand-eye coordination, right?
Yes.
But
Apparently your
Mom,
dream is to be a prince, by the way.
It is. My hand-eye coordination.
Well, we don't care about that kind of hand-eye coordination.
You can...
People need to get off their high horse. Just get off your high horse, and just fucking let people enjoy a damn game. If you don't like it, don't be a bitch about it. Stop fussing.
You can find drug references in anything if you want to look.
I wasn't talking about drug references. Let's talk about being perverted.
But that's what he says. He says that Mario's a semi-vague drug references. I guess because mushrooms making a big. Come on, you can find drug references in anything.
That has fucking nothing to do with drugs. Mushrooms are good for you.
The name orangeloungeradio, totally a drug reference.
Mushrooms.
We're just lounge around and get high.
Mushrooms are high in protein. They make you grow stronger. Mushrooms are good for you. Not to mention medicinal.
But that doesn't mean you pick them out of the backyard and eat them.
That's gross. I mean, you can if you want to die or something or hallucinate. I don't fucking care. This is what you get for getting me after work, Rob.
All right. Loki, is Mario a bunch of drug references?
No, they're not that clever.
I was just focusing on the child thing.
By the way, Crazy Taxi is free right now on iOS.
Nice. Let's make some crazy money. Because that game wasn't drug influenced whatsoever. All right.
We're going to make some crazy money.
Was it based off? Was it drug influence? Yeah, it was.
And all the passengers want to go to like KFC and Pizza Hut. You know why? Because they're high and they're hungry.
Because Pepsi paid for that.
All right, new question from Flacco Jones. What would be on your wish list of improvements for a sequel to one of your favorite games? For example, I would like Ni no Kuni 2 to contain even more Ghibli animated cutscenes, and it would be awesome if they added couch co-op, similar to the way it works in Tales of Cilia, where your friends can control the other party members during battle. Isn't that kind of like Secret of Mana too? But anyway, what is on your wish list of improvements to a sequel to one of your favorite games?
Better writing for the next Mass Effect, and bring back Jennifer Hale
Better writing and bring back Jennifer
and Garrus.
Hale. All right, Loki.
Saints Row 3 and Saints Row 4 were all a dream. Go back to Saints Row 2.
Write Saints Row 3 and 4 out of the canon, all right?
How are they going to make a new game? It's just so beyond ridiculous. It's the classic Matrix problem. You gave Neo too many powers too early, and now where do you go from there? You don't. You end the series.
Saints Row 5. I would say Saints Row 5 Saints in Space, but I guess they really already did that in Saints Row 4.
They did that already. That was Saints Row 4.
I don't know then. Let's see. My wish for improvements to a sequel for one of my favorite games, I would like for the Guardian Legend 2 to exist. That would be the list.
That would be fantastic.
That would be my improvement I would like to make, is I would like that game to exist.
It'd still be fucking hard as fuck.
I would also like for maybe there to be like a Blaster Master sequel, like a proper one. Like, go back and give me a real Blaster Master sequel, not like the Genesis thing or even that thing on the Wii, which wasn't horrible, but it just, wasn't as good as it should have been. So, anyway. Oh, I know. How about for the next Castlevania sequel, you go back to your roots? That would be a good thing too, because it doesn't sound like this new one is selling well at all, and I think there's a reason for that. Just saying.
Or how
You
about a
steal
crossover
men's
game?
souls and make them your slave.
Yes, I want bad voice acting in the next Castlevania game.
Why can't they have a crossover game with Samus and Simon Belmont, and then they can have Metroidvania?
It'd have to be
Why not?
Alucard because it'd have to, or Richter. Richter.
Why not? All right, let's go to Facebook. We have some of the questions on Facebook. AZHP, you know him as our
Hi.
double gold star emailer.
Hi.
Says Dark Sakura may be able to spot spelling and grammatical errors in our emails, but
No.
can she see why kids love the taste of Cinnamon Toast Crunch?
No, because that shit's nasty.
Dark Sakura is yet again wrong. That is my favorite breakfast cereal, Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
It's fake cinnamon. It doesn't have it has some real cinnamon in it, but okay, you know the problem I have with fake cinnamon, right?
What?
I can't deal with the smell. I can't deal with the taste, and I actually think that I react that's why I can't have that Fireball stuff because it's fake cinnamon, or those little Red Hots. I can't have them either. I can't have fake cinnamon, and the Cinnamon Toast Crunch it smelled wrong to me, and it just didn't taste anything like cinnamon toast.
But it's like eating sugar cubes for breakfast.
I know. Keep in mind when I was
the problem
a
with
kid.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch is it loses all the cinnamon in the milk. It's just not good after it turns into mush. Dry though.
When
it's
I was a
fantastic.
kid,
I don't eat cereal with milk.
I ate grape nuts and Total
Oh, you're weird.
and Cracklin' Oat Bran. Those
all
are my
about-
three favorite. I kid you not. Those are my
Although,
three favorite cereals as a kid.
I do love me some Frosted Mini Wheats.
Now Frosted Mini Wheats to this day is my favorite cereal ever.
Uh-huh.
But when I was a kid, as much as I loved those, I loved eating fucking Total and grape nuts and Cracklin' Oat Bran.
Grape nuts aren't bad. Actually.
Grape nuts is awesome. Have you had it hot?
No.
I finally
But-
got around to having it hot and it was good.
Going back to what Loki was saying, remember, I don't eat cereal with milk. Like, I don't do that. Like, I'm weird like that. I'm not the only person I've ever met that does it that way, though.
You know what I do with the grape nuts? There's more tangent about grape nuts. I actually mix a little heavy whipping cream in it, just enough to moisten it up. And then I actually do add legit cinnamon and sugar to the top of it. And then I nuke it.
Cinnamon Toast Grape Nuts.
But it's actually cinnamon
All right.
in it, real legit cinnamon.
All right, Loki, anything else on breakfast cereal, or can I go to the next question?
I was gonna say that honey grams are pretty awesome.
Not bad.
Or golden
Up.
grams, I'm sorry.
Oh, Golden Grams are pretty good.
You know, I also
like
hate
those.
Cheerios.
Really?
The only ones I like are the Honey Nut Cheerios.
No, the Honey Nut ones are really good.
But I hate regular Cheerios.
Frosted ones are good, too.
I know, yuck.
You ever had Crispix? That's my other
I like
favorite cereal.
Crispix
Anyway,
and Chex.
now I'm getting hungry from some cereal.
You know what? I'm low carbing, so now.
All right. We have a series of questions from Osfer, who tailor-made a question for each of us. You ready for this?
Ooh.
Starts with Dark Sakura.
Of course.
Dark Sakura from Osfer. Have you ever watched the anime Higurashi no Naku Koro ni? It's pretty fantastic and absolutely terrifying.
To be honest, I actually have it downloaded. It's on my list. But right now, I am finishing up Gatchaman Crowds, and I have Kill a Kill on my list next. I have just finished the first run of Shingeki no Kyojin and Claymore, so I'm sort of progressing. But right now, Gatchaman Crowds is what I'm finishing, which, by the way, is fucking weird and has really nothing to do with Gatchaman other than, like, odd references.
So the answer to your question is no.
No, but I have it. But I have it, and I will watch it.
It's on the to-do list.
It's on the list.
All right. You guys should have a Skype party. You can watch it together.
No.
Wouldn't that be fun? All right. A question for me. Oh, boy. Has your fear of dogs grown less over the years? Also, do your hips not lie? Do my hips not lie about what? It's bigness? It's
Dear
thickness?
Rob's hips, tell me a story. Hi, I'm Rob's hips, and I only tell the truth.
Feed me a donut. That's a truth. Did you hear Dunkin' Donuts is coming to Sacramento? I'm so fucking excited.
I really like Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Yeah, Cinnamon Toast Crunch is my favorite. I don't know why my hips sound like that, but... And I'm... Thank God it's a radio show, because I'm actually shaking in my chair when my hips talk.
That's why I'm laughing.
You okay?
Shut up.
Let me get to the other question.
I blame Oscar for all this.
And my hips don't like to get bit by dogs either. So, on a serious note, if you didn't know, I know I've talked about this on the show at some point before, but I have struggled since a very young age. I have had a fear of dogs, and it goes back to when I was 5 years old. I was actually bit by a dog. Like, I was doing the thing a 5-year-old kid would do, and I was riding my bike around the neighborhood, and I tried to pet the dog, and the dog took a chunk out of my leg. And I make it sound more dramatic than it was, but you know, when you're a 5-year-old kid, that's sure what it felt like.
Everything is dramatic.
My
everything
mom,
is terrible.
my mom threw a fit, and I remember the whole like, "Oh my God, you have rabies," and it, just the whole fallout from that whole thing. And granted, my mom's overreaction to the situation didn't help. However, the dog, well, I mean, but at the same time, some neighbor's carelessness in letting their dog loose around the neighborhood, biting a kid, probably drove her fucking nuts. So, you know, I do give her credit for that. But anyway, so yes, I've had a fear of dogs. It's mostly big dogs. I'm getting better with small dogs.
Little yapper types.
Little yappers actually annoy the shit out of me still.
Yeah.
But
that's different than fear, isn't it?
No. If the dog shows their teeth, like, that's kind of the big fear for me.
So then maybe your fear is dog dentistry.
Perhaps. I don't know. But, like, my grandma used to own poodles, and I didn't want to be near those things because they always kind of, like, growl and they show their teeth a lot. But then, like, my other grandma on my dad's side had a little dachshund, and that thing was sweet and never, you know, was very quiet.
Which is weird because they're kind of yapper, too.
Yeah, no, not this one. So, and for real, I love corgis.
Corgis are the best. Now,
so I'm getting better, especially with the smaller dogs. The big ones, like for instance, you know, and I think she'd be okay if I talked about this on the air. Jessica from Understation Live talks openly about her dog Chewbacca, which is a big doggy,
big drooly dog.
Yeah, and I'm getting better with Chewbacca. Mm-hmm. Like, she still has the courtesy to put Chewbacca away if she knows I'm coming over, which is very nice. But, you know, and I always feel bad because I'm like, oh God, she shouldn't have to do that just because I've got issues, you know, or whatever. But I'm getting better with that. And it's just, I think it's just about, you really just kind of have to. It's so, I'm sure there's so many of you out there going like, what, really? Rob's got, like, but I can't explain it to you guys.
Did you ever see 1-2? Will's dog?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I usually make sure that if he's over and I know you're coming over, that I warn you about 1-2.
Right.
But she's a half pit.
Mm-hmm.
But she doesn't bark. She tried to bite Midna once, but actually it was more that she was trying to play with Midna's tail while I was carrying her.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, she's like a sap.
The thing that really set me back was about 6 months ago when I was going out to my car in the morning and there was a giant dog in the parking lot running around, not with a leash on. And of course, when a dog sees me, it runs up to me. And I literally flashed back to being 5 years old. And I thought the dog was going to attack me. And I like froze. I freaked out. I ran back to my apartment and slammed the door, and the dog was waiting outside for me. And it was like a scene out of a scary movie. And I'm sure there's a lot of people sitting there going, this is ridiculous. But I can't tell you how much terror I felt that
That
day.
is,
It was
okay, and
bad.
Tumblr listeners, I'm going to tell you right now, that's called a trigger. Those things are
Yes.
legit.
Yeah.
Being mildly uncomfortable by something is not a fucking trigger. Having a full-on anxiety attack
Yeah.
or a meltdown
I had a panic
is a
attack.
fucking trigger.
I had a panic attack that morning.
So stop using being mildly uncomfortable to describe a trigger. You perfectly described an actual legit trigger. So, and for the record, if I may, parents, if you have children, teach them to extend a hand to be smelled before touching an animal.
All right.
So.
I got to move through this fast here because we're running kind of late here. So I'm going to burn through the rest of these questions. But Oscar did have one more for Loki. Loki, what would you say is your favorite alcoholic beverage?
Probably a screwdriver. That's all I really drink.
All right. We're going to go lightning round with the rest of these questions. You ready? KJ, dear OLR crew, I have a question for you. Worst game ever. Go.
I blocked it from my memory.
Loki?
Oh, I do.
I'd probably say Yaris.
I'm actually going to say WCW Thunder. That was really awful.
Candy Crush Saga. Delvin, I would like to know the OLR's crew's thoughts on DLC. Titanfall Season Pass is $25. Ghost is getting a map pack for $15. Is DLC starting to become a money grab? A way for developers to make a $60 game and then charge you for more content that they could have included or given you for free anyways. What are your thoughts? Delvin, in all honesty, this debate done already finished because we're still buying the DLC and like this is kind of not a new thing anymore.
I bought all the ones for Mass Effect because they actually added something to the game.
Yeah, that's the thing. What is the $60 really buying you? I think that's the question you really have to ask in evaluating a game. All right, two more. Gaming Nerd says, how long before we get a Rob and Jamie podcast all about your favorite places to dine and foods you love to prepare and diet choices?
Next week.
I've got 3 podcasts. Isn't that enough?
I might do one just called The Tangent.
All right, and lastly, and I'll throw this one to Loki because he hasn't gotten an answer one here. Degenerate Johnny says, I would like to know if you have a preference towards red or white wine. If so, what is your favorite?
I hate wine.
White wine for me.
You know what? I would have said red until Frivolo. And now it just is Frivolo.
All right. All right, well, we have to wrap up because it's getting late and it is a school night, but we do want to thank you guys for tuning in to the show tonight, and even though it was a kind of a shorter show, a little bit of an abbreviated show, thank you very much for your continued support of the show. You know what we ask, guys? If you enjoyed what you heard here at Orange Lounge Radio, please tell a friend or two about the show. Help spread the word about independent podcasting, and even if for whatever reason you didn't like the show here or you need something else to listen to for the other hour and a half you're not getting tonight, go listen to other independent podcasts. Support independent podcasting.
And if you really like us, buy us dinner.
Bye, Jamie.
We might go
Taco.
home with you.
All right. We're going to go around and get everybody's final thoughts. Loki, your final thought tonight.
Potato bar tomorrow.
Potato bar. My final thought is moving in 2 days. Oh, boy. Dark Soccer, your final thought.
Question everything and Mongolian barbecue.
All right, that's going to do it for another week here of Orange Lounge Radio. We'll be back live in just 7 days to do it all over again. Have a great week, everybody. Good night.
You've been listening to Orange Lounge Radio. Orange Lounge Radio is a production of OLR Studios. To join us for a live show, tune into VogNetwork.com Sunday nights at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. The views and opinions expressed in this program do not necessarily reflect those of the staff of Orange Lounge Radio or Vog Network, but you know they were all still true. See you next week.